Welcome to the Talkin Balls Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Transfer portal season is here. Let the chaos and the madness begin, man. A quick little scroll through Twitter, name after name after name. One of the probably the biggest things I get tagged in is, Boogie, what do you think about this guy? Or Boogie, what do you think about that guy? You go to Google and just type in transfer portal and just scroll through the list of names. It's unrestricted free agency. Sure, there are some guys that are going to go in the portal because of playing time or opportunities, but a lot of these guys are going to go in the portal for NIL opportunities. I was trying to decide what should I take a look at for today's video in the transfer portal, because that's the topic everybody wants to talk about. And as I was looking through it, I saw an article from 247 Sports, kind of gives you some storylines, it gives you some players to watch, and it also gives you some rules, because a lot of you guys ask questions about the rules. And John Hill, he's always in the chat, he's always in the comments, made a good point this week. He's like, Boogie, the portal's not even open yet. And yes, he's right. It doesn't open until December 5th. So all these names coming out are just kids that intend to enter the transfer portal. We're going to get into it and talk about it. This is a good little article. As always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, easy, helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would hit that little thumbs up below the video. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't try to sell you on some nonsense that we're not. This is for the fans, by the fans. We are fans just like you. If you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. I'll be live Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll play a little NCAA football, but we'll hang out. We'll talk about Tennessee football. We'll talk about the transfer portal. We'll talk about bowl game opportunities. Talk about the SEC championship. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about it on Sunday night, so make sure you tune in to that. Let's jump into the article here. Again, 247 Sports, Transfer Portal 2023, storylines, rules, and names to know before the window opens. And again, as John Hill pointed out, this thing doesn't even open until December 5th. That's what it says right out of the gate here. The 2023 Transfer Portal cycle has officially arrived. And again, doesn't open for a couple of days, and it's still complete chaos. Like, I know I've been saying it all year long that the transfer portal this year is going to be more chaotic than ever before, because a lot of these kids, a lot of these players kind of got a grasp on what it was going to look like last season. Now this year, going to be complete chaos, but it's even more chaotic than I expected going into this year. Says not officially, it just feels that way ahead of the December 5th transfer portal window because of the number of players that are already rushing into the portal and announcing their intentions to do so. I saw a kid the other day that entered the portal and is already right back out. The portal's not even open yet, and you've got kids, I'm using air quotes that you guys can't see, going into the portal and then coming right back out already. Says with everything seemingly happening at once in college football, it feels like a good time to take a breath and roll out a quick and dirty preview of some of the key portal storylines you can expect in the coming weeks. First, right here, it's got the new rules, and this is a good thing to review because some of you guys may not be aware. Some of you guys ask questions about it. Says you got to know the rules first. Says the most pressing is the newly instituted NCAA transfer windows. In previous years, undergraduate transfers could enter at almost any time. We saw that. We saw Harrison Bailey entering the portal before the season was even over. Says now FBS players are limited to December 5th to January the 18th to enter the portal before another window opens up between April 15th to the 30th. So again, what you're seeing is you're going to have a window. You're going to have about a month-long window, a little bit longer after the regular season, after conference championships, that these players are going to have an opportunity. Then they're basically going to force them to go through spring camp, and then we're going to have another 2-week window from April the 15th to April the 30th. So a couple of key points, key times there, again, after the regular season, after spring camp, when these kids kind of have a grasp on whether or not they're going to have an opportunity. Says there's also a big roster management change. Before, schools could only sign up to 25 initial counters per cycle. In simple terms, that means a program, with a few exceptions, could only sign a total of 25 high school and transfer players. That's no longer the case. Schools can now sign as many players in each class as they'd like, as long as their roster stays under the 85 scholarship cap. Now, a lot of that's interesting because how are high school players going to continue to get an opportunity when you can go into the portal, you can dip into the portal, and you can pick a need? Oh, we need a wide receiver, so we're going to go out here and add Brew McCoy, a guy that's a grown man compared to a 17, 18-year-old kid coming out of high school. How do these high school kids get opportunities? Is it going to be like minor league baseball? Are they going to have to come out and go play at a school like Wyoming? Go play at a school? These smaller schools prove themselves, kind of learn the ropes of college football, and then look to move on to a bigger program? Is that what it's going to look like? The article goes on here to talk about teams that will be ultra aggressive, teams with a new coach. We talked about that when Josh Heupel was hired. The timing of the transfer portal, the timing of NIL played perfectly into Josh Heupel and Tennessee's hands. He was able to kind of rebuild, flip this roster way quicker than anybody expected. Says here teams in need of a spark, teams that are always aggressive. I think if you're not being aggressive, then you're missing the boat. And you can love, hate the transfer portal, whatever you want. It's here. You're going to have to learn to deal with it. If coaches are not being aggressive, and I don't mean taking a player for the sake of taking a player. If you're going to take somebody, make sure they fit, make sure the culture's right. You're going to check the boxes. But if you're not being aggressive in the transfer portal, you're missing the boat. On the flip side, it says teams that could get hit hard. It says there are teams that are devastated every cycle by the transfer portal due to multiple key players entering. Things might be a bit calmer this year given the lack of high-profile coaching changes, but there are still a few programs we're watching closely. While the vibe around Texas A&M is much improved following the victory over LSU, still expected to be movement in College Station. How could there not be? Jimbo Fisher, big-time contract, big-time recruiting classes, but cannot get it done on the field. Always a disappointment. Always does less with more. Says we've already seen a few Aggies enter the portal. A lot of people are going to talk about Walter Nolan. Does Walter Nolan end up in the portal? Does he come back to Tennessee? I don't think Walter Nolan wants to play for Rodney Garner. I think he's terrified to come play for Rodney Garner. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was all about NIL. Maybe Texas A&M had more money. I don't know. I don't know the insides of Walter Nolan's decision to go to Texas A&M. But a lot of people question his work ethic, his laziness. Does he want to play for the most hard-nosed defensive line coach in the country? I don't think so. Talks about the Aggies running back LJ Johnson. Says there's expected to be several more high-profile players on the way out. Goes on to list a few of the players from Texas A&M that were suspended and entering the portal. Let's get on down here. Contender needs we're watching. Mentions Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. Where do you guys think Tennessee fits in this? Do you call Tennessee a contender now after being ranked number one in the college football playoff just for a brief moment in time, just for a cup of coffee, and now they're no longer there? They're on the outside looking in. But is Tennessee back? Is Tennessee a contender in 2023, or is it still about roster management, recruiting, who they add in the portal this year? I don't need to run down what Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State needs. Number 5, quarterbacks we're watching. This is another question I get asked all the time is, do you think we need to add a quarterback? Joe Milton doesn't have it. And everybody, everybody's so friendly around here now. No more attacks, no more insults, no more calling me stupid over Joe Milton. You guys just say, but yeah, I know you like Joe Milton. I'm just not sure he's going to get it done. Do you think Tennessee looks to the portal for a quarterback? And I say no. And the reason I say no, that's a hard sell. How do you convince a quarterback to come to Tennessee when you're going to have to compete with Joe Milton, a guy that's an upperclassman with 2 years in this offense under Josh Heupel? Behind him, you've got Taven Jackson, 4-star prospect coming out of high school, full year in the system to sit under Josh Heupel, Hendon Hooker, learn this offense. And then you've got the 5-star golden-armed Nico Iamaleava coming in, expected to take over and lead this program at some point, whether that be midway through the season next year, whether that means after his first season. Who wants to come compete in that mess as a quarterback? It's a tough sell for Tennessee. NIL will matter. Name, image, and likeness is embedded in the fabric of the transfer portal. There's no denying it. We're going to see that, and one of the names here mentioned, Missouri wide receiver Dominic Lovett, third leading receiver in the SEC, intends to enter the portal. The article says that move had name, image, and likeness undertones already this year. Sources have told 247 Sports that players have been approached with 7-figure deals to enter the portal. Now, those are probably few and far between, 7-figure deals. How many 7-figure deals are actually out there? But NIL is going to play a part in this thing. Where does Tennessee go? I think the tight end is a priority. We've talked about the defensive backs, linebackers. You need some depth there. Just so many opportunities. And I think a lot of it's just going to depend on what players are there. Do they fit the culture? Do they fit what this coaching staff wants? We've seen this coaching staff do a pretty good job. The only one they missed on as far as culture was Lynn J. Dixon, and they were kind of backed into a corner after the Lenith Whitehead injury. I know that was a lot of information to unpack. I thought that was a good little article as we continue to kind of track this movement in the portal. Once I get a grasp on who Tennessee actually has interest on, you got to look. It doesn't open till the 5th. I think that's when business is really going to pick up. Hit the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. What are your priority targets for the transfer portal this offseason? You guys know what to do. Hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. The links to the merchandise, the links to get involved in the NIL game where we are an affiliate, all of that is in the description below. That's going to do it for this one. Quick reminder, I will be live with Big Vol Daddy on his channel next Wednesday at 8 p.m. I'm a little terrified. He says it's going to be a Boogie Bentley tell all. So I don't know what he's going to ask me. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's always a good time hanging out with Big Vol Daddy. That's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.